Welcome to Bucket List Careers, the podcast. I'm Krista Laurie. This is episode 162. And in studio with me today, we have Claudia Kandel. She is the co-founder of Sidekick Concierge. Thanks for coming in, Claudia.
Oh, Krista, thanks so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here.
Another Larchmont resident. I love it. We've known each other for a little bit, but I was introduced to what you're doing now by another neighbor, and it's just like this word of mouth. Networking is the best. So let's just give my listeners a little idea of what Sidekick does. It's an on-demand personal assistance service for seniors, helping them remain independent, connected, and to live life fully at their ages, which I think is an amazing concept, and we'll unpack more of that later. But first, tell me how and why this really lights you up like nothing before professionally.
Well, I'd say this is definitely the most important, most fulfilling, and most enjoyable career and job I've ever had. I love what I do. I feel like I'm doing it pretty well. I feel like we're making a difference in people's lives every day. And the company's growing, and I work with the best people. So it's all those things that you want coming together.
Yeah, but this is not what you started out doing. You had a career in different areas. So let's dial it back a bit. Walk us through your career evolution, what you were involved in before this transformative pivot to more purpose in your life.
Okay. So I was all over the place. I started out in the nonprofit arts. I spent a year as a ski bum. I
love that. Were you out in Colorado?
I was. I attended business school. I worked at Kraft Foods in marketing on major brands like Crystal Light and Capri Sun. After that, I took time off and stayed home with my kids for many years. Mm-hmm. And then I returned back to work in the nonprofit world. So
how many years ago was that?
That I went to the nonprofit world. Yeah. I think I returned in 2018. So I had a long stretch not working.
Okay. So that's your most recent professional self before this, if you will.
100%.
What was working for you in that space? And then when did you decide, this is not right for me long term?
Well, I loved being in the nonprofit space, actually, because I have always felt like making a difference was important to me.
It was consulting, yes?
Yeah. So it was at the Acceleration Project, which is a local nonprofit. They serve small businesses across the country. They actually provide volunteer consulting services to small and underserved small businesses. So it was a great model. They're making a big difference. There are tons of amazing people there. And it was great work. I enjoyed it, but we also hit COVID. And of course, COVID was a difficult time for small businesses. And I was just starting to feel a little burnt out with the work I was doing.
Okay, so pivotal moments. I know you said you've had a series of them, but what was it, would you say, that sparked the idea of Sidekick Concierge? And, how did you begin this road to what you're doing now?
Yeah, definitely. So I feel like every time I made a job change or left a job, started something new, that was in many ways a mini pivot because something either wasn't fulfilling, something wasn't exactly right or in balance and whatnot. And so it was time to leave and try something new and then learn from that experience. Yeah. However, with Sidekick Concierge, I feel like it wasn't so much a pivot as a confluence. So it was a confluence of the right life stage that was illuminating the right ideas, the right people coming together with, the right skills and experiences to back it all up.
Right, because you have two other co-founders.
Yes, I have two amazing partners, both of whom I met when I was working at the Acceleration Project.
Okay.
And so we were working together, and after we had actually all left the organization, we knew we wanted to continue working together in some capacity. We got along really well. Yeah. We had values that were aligned. We had complementary business skills. But we didn't know exactly what it was that we wanted to do.
So were you all out for coffee one day and someone said senior care and I have this idea, or margaritas, whatever it is you guys can do to blow off steam?
We like both of those. Yeah.
Was there just that kind of aha moment?
So it was, again, we didn't know what we wanted to do. We knew we wanted to do something together. We were still kind of coming out of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. My two partners are in different parts of New York. One lives on Long Island, one lives in the city. So we got together every week on Zoom to brainstorm different ideas. And of course, we were chatting about books that we like and shows to stream. And let me just tell you that the three of us are women in our 50s. So we were at a particular life stage where we had gone from spending a lot of time talking about our children and what they were doing to spending more and more time talking about our aging parents or worrying about how to care for them. And we were lucky because the three of us have parents who were living independently. They were still active. They didn't need constant support, but they could, benefit from some occasional help.
Yeah.
And so, as our conversations developed and whatnot, I'd be like, oh, if only there were someone to accompany my mother to a doctor's appointment, or if only there was someone to help my father reset that Netflix password again, or if only there was someone to help my parents clear out the stacks and stacks of papers that are piling up on the living room table. And it was kind of like those, if only there was someone to do that, why isn't there someone to do that? We've got to go do this.
Oh, you've just answered several of my questions, which is what is different about your business model. But I did want to ask you to sort of give me more detail on how this process works. So someone who's elderly gets a sidekick assigned to him or her. Tell me about that. Walk us through
so
it.
Again, we're really focused on seniors who want to remain living independently and are still active, so mostly healthy or whatnot. And as you know, I think it's something like 87% of seniors want to age in place and stay at home. And most of them don't need a full-time home health aide or even a home health aide at all. They just need some occasional assistance. As you know, when you help your own parents, they always have a task list waiting for you when you step in the door, something like that. So really, it's what we do is we have our sidekicks, and they're absolutely amazing. They are engaging companions. They are thoughtful assistants. They are there to provide any kind of help that someone like the adult child might do. So again, they can help with technology. They can accompany clients to doctor's appointments or on cultural outings. They provide that kind of sophisticated companionship. Yeah. They can help with any kind of errands, tasks, meal prep, really sending out holiday cards, all those different kinds of things. And the sidekicks, again, are amazing, and they're different. They're sophisticated, they're college educated, they're highly vetted, they're kind, compassionate, infinitely patient. They love spending time with seniors, and one common thread is that they usually have had an experience caring for a loved one in their own family. So they know how important it is, they know how difficult it is, and they like making a difference in people's lives.
And is this something that you're not really seeing out there in the space yet?
Yeah, we have not seen it, and the industry has been very welcoming because it's a nice complementary service to what's out there. Because again, the home health aides, that's not necessarily right for someone who's still living independently and doesn't need 20 hours of support a week. So another one of the great things that we offer is this flexible kind of on-demand service. So you really only need to book a sidekick for 2 hours per visit. There are no other commitments. It works that way. Lots of our clients like to have a weekly recurring visit so they know that their sidekick is there, and then add on when different tasks or errands or appointments come up. But it's really meant to work in a way that works best for our seniors and our clients and the families. Sure. It's not just the seniors themselves, it's the families.
It's peace of mind all around. And are you doing this just regionally at this point, or are you able to provide services throughout the country?
Thank you for asking. Yes. Well, right now we are focused in New York City. So New York City, Westchester, and we're in Fairfield County, Connecticut also, and we are actually serving clients in Palm Beach County, Florida as well. So we're expanding, but there's really just so much opportunity right here in New York that's our focus right now. But I see, more things coming. We get phone calls all the time from around the country. Are you in St. Louis? Are you in Chicago? Are you in this? Yeah. And we have family members who, of the clients all over the place, including in different countries as well.
I see. So, let's talk about obstacles. I mean, it sounds like it's going very well, a couple of years in, but we want to learn from things that you have navigated past. And you did share with me that you were feeling stuck at one point for a long while. Completely paralyzed were the words that you used. So talk to me about that and how you pushed past it. At what phase was this?
So that was when I took a hiatus from the work world to stay at home with my kids. And I loved that time. That was a great experience and a real privilege to have that opportunity. Yeah. But as the years went on, I started questioning, getting a little frustrated, questioning whether this is what I wanted to do all the time. Was I wasting the skills that I had built? Was I wasting the education that I had invested in? Could I go back to work? What would I want to do? Kind of tormenting myself with a lot of these questions. And I really, as I said, felt like I was in a state of paralysis. I didn't know how to kind of knock myself out of it or what to do. So,
And what served you to get out of it?
well, I'm grateful to my friends and family for nudging me out of that mindset, because that was not a helpful or healthy place to be.
Yeah.
And then
was it one of your kids by any chance? Because I keep hearing that some of the kids are inspirational in terms of just saying just something honest, like, Mom, you're standing in your own way, or something like that.
Right. My kids are great, but I can't give them credit on this end. I think it was
Sorry, guys, I tried.
and this one, I think it was more my husband was like, just go. My husband had known me as someone who was working and as a professional. My kids actually really only knew me as someone who stayed at home and dabbled in different volunteer activities or had a previous career. So I think it was my husband who knew I possessed certain skills or the desire to do things or a drive to do different things. And he's like, just go back. It doesn't even matter if it's your dream job. Because I think I was getting hooked on that. Like, I don't want to go back now unless it's something I really love, because I'm so lucky to be able to.
I feel that same thing. Like, you're closing doors before you even know what's out there.
Completely.
That can be a mistake. So tell me a little bit more about takeaways for our guests, things that you feel are nuggets of wisdom based on what you've been through.
Chris, I feel like this is the point of the podcast where we break into song and start singing Defying Gravity or something like that.
Maybe that's next time.
I know you have a great singing voice.
Oh, you're sweet.
So I guess I'd say, again, don't go like looking for the dream job right away. Don't worry about finding that dream job. Keep all the doors open and have the courage to keep walking through them, because that way you can figure out what it is you love to do, what you're good at doing, what the world needs from you, and how you can make money with all of this together.
Yeah. And you had so much experience under your belt. I mean, you were able to transfer skills to something fairly easily. Like, tell me what you were able to lean on in terms of starting your own business. At this magnitude, like, this is a real gig
Thank
you've
you.
got going here, Claudia.
Well, again, I couldn't do it just by myself. I have these two amazing partners who bring so much energy, commitment, fabulous expertise and skills.
Yeah.
But I guess, everything that I'd learned along the way in terms of leveraging consumer insights to come up with the right idea, or building a brand, or just any of the ways that we interact with our clients to have a meaningful experience. All of those different things are completely relevant to what I'm doing today. In fact, I feel like I bring all of my experience into this operation every day. But it's also important to know that, okay, I do some things well, but there are plenty of things I do not do well at all. And so thank God for my partners. Thank God for our whole management team who bring so much expertise and that we lean on. And, I'd never worked in this industry before. So every day there is a learning curve, and I'm grateful for that because it keeps it interesting and exciting.
Sure. And you keep evolving with that, because you said you never dreamed you would be in senior care, and here you are.
I know, exactly. It's like, what? If you had ever told me that I would be working in this industry or find my dream job here, I would have laughed. I mean, I was never marching down this path, I thought.
Yeah.
I was never thinking about this industry in any meaningful way at all. And it's...
saying yes to the opportunity. To your point before about like not closing doors and not focusing so hard on the dream job, it seems to come to you sort of organically when you just stay open.
Right. I mean, it's just, it's really amazing for me to realize that this is where I've ended up, and I never thought I would be here, but yet I found, what I feel like might be my purpose career-wise.
Yeah. And so just a couple quick questions before we wrap. What if someone wants to be a sidekick?
We love our sidekicks. Our sidekicks, as I've told you, are absolutely amazing. And all they have to do is go to our website and apply. That's the first step. And then, of course, we do interviews and all kinds of vetting and training and those sorts of things.
But who are these people? What is sort of the profile?
Yeah, so they are a big, diverse mix, but generally they are empty nesters, early retirees, former professionals, actors, artists, stay-at-home parents. They are phenomenal, and they are, as I said, looking to do something meaningful. Yeah. And even, from the beginning of creating this company, it was really important to my two partners and I that we created this opportunity, which is a part-time, meaningful gig opportunity for people to do something that works into their lifestyle, that brings them meaning, that impacts other people, and that they get paid they get paid well, because caregiving is tough, and most caregivers are underpaid or not paid or have to give up their income to go care for someone. So all of that was really important to us.
I think it's a brilliant, rewarding concept that you have here. So well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Make sure we mention the website, because that's the best place for people to learn more.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Unless you're giving out my cell phone number. So, so it's sidekickconcierge.com. Super easy. Yeah.
All right. Claudia Kandel, thank you so much for taking the time and coming in to do this podcast with me.
Krista,
I really enjoyed
thank
it.
you so much. I'm so grateful for this.
I'll see you around the neighborhood.
For sure.
And that's going to do it for this episode of Bucket List Careers. I'm Krista Laurie. Thanks so much for joining me. Check us out on socials at Bucket List Careers. You can always DM me some guest ideas or input, or email me, Krista at bucketlistcareerspodcast.com. Until the next episode, be well.